Welcome back to the news at 10. Motorists in some states of the Niger Delta region are complaining about the hardship they face while traveling along federal and state roads. Officials of the Niger Delta Development Commission visited the Calabar-Itu road to assess the condition of the road.
This is the River State axis of the Port Harcourt-Itu-Calabar Highway. Now in a very deplorable state and overstretched 40 years after it was built. Like many other roads in the region, it lacks drainage channels, making it flooded and its surface constantly eroded. Users of this infrastructure continue to beg authorities to do something urgently about the condition.
I am not feeling comfortable at all, and we have been observing these things for a long time.
The government do something about this road because our driver will suffer
Bad. Drivers is suffering.
With recent television reports exposing the degree of deterioration and neglect, a Niger Delta Development Commission team led by the acting managing director, Mrs. Ibim Seminitary, has come to assess the situation.
If we do palliatives, how? Because we need to be sure that it's going to be money spent well. If we do palliatives, is that going to give how much succor can we bring?
We can gain a lot of money.
There are about 7-9 days
People
at the stretch.
Mrs. Seminitary gives an assurance that there will be palliative measures put in place to reduce the suffering of users.
There have been several reports and requests from residents and people across the two states. So we thought we should come today that is not a very busy day and see for ourselves, because if we're going to do emergency work, then let's be sure that we can't wait and do it fully. And it's really bad. Like you can see, they were cut off here completely.
As the condition of the roads in the Niger Delta region continue to tell on the lives of people and their vehicles, those living along the highway are also praying for prompt action from the federal government to rescue their ancestral homes from flooding.
Let's take a look at some sports news now. Here's Ayotunde Balogun.
Yes, time now for some sports news, and of course we're starting off first from the home front and talking football, where the Nigeria Football Federation has appointed former Bordeaux defender and manager Gernot Rohr as the new Super Eagles technical advisor. The 63-year-old German was initially recommended for that role by the NFF's technical committee, and his appointment on a 2-year deal has now been confirmed. Rohr, who has managed national teams of Gabon, Niger Republic and Burkina Faso, will now attempt to qualify Nigeria for the next FIFA World Cup in Russia 2018. Glory chasing Nigeria's under-23 football team have arrived in Sao Paulo ahead of Wednesday's Group B final game against South Americans Colombia at the Corinthians Arena. The 1996 champions have already qualified for the tournament's quarterfinals after edging Asian champions Japan 5-4 and then beating Europe's best Sweden 1-0 in Manaus. Ogenekaro Etebo and Sadiq Umar are likely to be rested for this game, while Aminu Umar and Junior Ajayi will lead the team's attack against their opponents. Hosts Brazil they look like the likely candidate in the next round, though that's if they overcome the Group A leaders, that's Denmark, when both teams meet inside Salvador's arena. Australia's Olympics chef de mission, Kitty Chula, insists there will be no apology in the swimming row between the country and China. At a news conference, Chula backed Olympic champion Mark Horton after he was embroiled in a spat with Sun Yang. After winning the 400 meters freestyle gold ahead of Yang, Horton was less than complimentary towards his rival, who served a 3-month ban for a doping offense. The International Olympic Committee IOC says it's disappointed some athletes had been booed during the competition. As spokesman Mark Adams confirmed President Thomas Bach was keen on light bans for serious doping offenses. The swimming finals of the Games have been marked by exchanges between athletes over doping, and controversial Russian swimmer Yulia Efimova was booed by the crowd ahead of a 100 meters breaststroke final in which she won the gold. And that's a wrap on sports news. I'm Ayotunde Balogun. The news at 10 continues shortly.
Russia and Turkey are working at mending broken ties, almost 7 since Turkey shut down a Russian bomber on the Syrian border last November. Presidents Vladimir Putin and Recep Erdogan both shook hands before holding talks in St. Petersburg. It's Mr. Erdogan's first foreign visit since the failed coup in July. During the meeting, he thanked his Russian counterpart for the invite, saying it meant a lot to him, and promised the Moscow-Ankara friendship will be restored. Both countries are involved in the fight against Islamic State in Syria, though Russia has once again accused Turkey of backing Islamist anti-Assad groups, including some accused of terrorism in Russia. And the U.S. Democratic presidential nominee Hillary Clinton is not out of the woods yet on the attack on the U.S. Embassy in Benghazi. Parents of 2 Americans killed in the 2012 attack have filed a lawsuit against the former Secretary of State for wrongful death and defamation. Though a House Republicans committee cleared Mrs. Clinton of any wrongdoing earlier this year, the issue has dogged her presidential campaign. The suit was filed on behalf of the parents, Patricia Smith and Charles Woods, by a conservative group, Freedom Watch. It claims Clinton's use of a private email server contributed to the death of their sons, Sean Smith and Tyrone Woods. They argue that her extreme carelessness in handling confidential and classified information on her private server may have revealed the location of State Department employees in Libya. Now, there have been reports of violence in the run-up to presidential and parliamentary elections in Zambia on Thursday. The chairman of the Zambia Electoral Commission says the acts of violence that have characterized the campaign is unprecedented and may have marred the country's historic elections. Regardless of the situation, President Edgar Lungu says the results will be respected. And the main news again. The National Emergency Management Agency today allayed fears over predicted flooding in parts of the country. NEMA's Director General, Mr. Sunny Sidi, assured residents in affected states that measures are being implemented to avert a major disaster. Also today, the Minister of Budget and National Planning, Mr. Udo Udoma, defended the 2016 budget approved by the President. The Minister explained that the final document is an improved version of the one earlier passed by the National Assembly. And leaders of Russia and Turkey today pledged to restore and improve economic relations after a row over the shooting down of a Russian bomber by Turkey. And that's the news at 10 tonight. Thanks a lot for staying with us. I'm Ijoma Hunyato. Do have a good night.